Hello, my name is Jenari Mitchell. I'm an IT professional and poet from Southeast Washington, D.C. I'm here to share my story on how gun violence has and continues to take a heavy toll on myself and my community. Where I come from, I'm lucky to have made it to C18 because a lot of my peers did not. However, I spent my 18th birthday at the funeral of my friend Zaire Kelly. Zaire and I were a part of the same college-bound program. Zaire was on his way home from site and was almost home when he was targeted and murdered in an attempted robbery. Zaire was an amazing student, athlete, and person, and he should still be here with us. I had just graduated from high school in the college-bound program just a couple of months before Zaire lost his life. It completely crushed me because we chose the same path and I got my chance, but gun violence stole his. And at any point it could have stole mine. And it continues to steal the lives of many innocent youth across the country, but mostly in black and brown communities where it's often ignored. I spent a big part of my childhood living near Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue in Southeast D.C. Last summer, 6-year-old Naya Courtney was shot and killed in a mass shooting in front of the same corner store and bus stop that I went to almost every day before and after school. She lost her life before it was able to start for something that had nothing to do with her. I'm here today because I could have been Naya Courtney and Naya Courtney could have been me. Naya Courtney isn't here today because of this country's failures to create safer environments and invest in communities. I've lost enough friends every year of my life since I was about 10 to know that if it wasn't for my youth programs like Kid Power, College Bound, Facilitating Leadership in Youth, Year Up, and many more, I wouldn't be here today. Those programs gave me a chance to live a different life than the one I was brought into, and that's why I'm here talking to you today. Those programs empowered me to show me that I am more than the circumstances I was brought into. Those programs gave me empathy because none of my childhood traumas were my fault, and I wouldn't have been able to heal from them if I was blamed for them. Those programs equipped me with the tools I needed to tap into my potential. Those programs gave me a choice, and I chose peace. You can't change everybody, but you can show everybody and give them the chance to save themselves. If it wasn't for these programs, I would probably be living a much different life, much different and more dangerous lifestyle like some of my peers. Not because I want to, but because that's what I would have had to do to survive. Youth programs finally gave me a chance to live rather than just survive, so I no longer live in survival mode. I'm able to make decisions that better my life and rather than ones that put me in danger. I'm just asking Congress to reinvest in youth programs and give the youth a chance. For the past over a decade, I've been watching youth programs get defunded while the police are funded. And those programs, and I'm watching more and more youth pick up guns and go into violent neighborhoods, get into violent situations just because they don't have anything else. They have no outlet. They have nothing to show them different. They just have the streets. So I'm asking Congress to re-provide those programs and reinvest in those programs for the youth. And like I said, I'm a poet, and I wrote 2 poems about gun violence that further explains those points, so I'm going to share. The first poem is called We Just Trying to Grow Up. When we were younger, they told us not to grow up too fast, but in the hood, we never had that chance. A lot of us ain't living to see 18, let alone 21, so we don't have a choice but to grow up. Fast, like how life came at us. Running through the hood, searching for answers, looking up to God, begging that he answers us. Because why my friends keep dying? Why these mothers keep crying? God, I'm trying really hard to hang on, but I can't find enough reasons to live anymore. You taking all of mine, and if you need them more, just let me know. Please give me a reason so that I can let go. Because I'm starting to lose hope and accept my fate that in a few months my mother might be putting me in my grave. Don't grow up too fast. I wish I didn't have to. But you don't get to be a child when you don't have enough friends to play with you on the playground because you had to watch so many of them go on the ground. Now you sitting on your end of the seesaw, knowing that your friends there will forever be in the air while you stuck on the ground. You try to push yourself up, but it's way too much pain holding you down. You don't get to be a child when there are more drugs in the hood than candy, and you lighten up every day trying to control your anxiety. Anxiety? What's that? Don't you dare say that. You want to get smacked? You want these people to think you crazy. You want these people to think I don't take care of my baby. You don't get to be a child when you have seen more in your few years than most will see in their entire lifetime. But you better not let anyone see you crying. Ain't nothing wrong with you. I've been through way more than you, so I don't want to hear not another word from you. Okay, I'm sorry for being so weak. I just wanted to talk about all the things that have been haunting me in my sleep. You don't get to be a child where I'm from. You don't get to be a child when the city doesn't care enough to keep pedophiles away from black kids, so within just a half-mile radius there are 49 sex offenders on the list. And every day you have to walk past grown men that want to experience your body before you even know you have one. You walked the long way now. So many men complimented you in your Barbie girl dress that you can't even put it on now. You don't get to be a child when you're carrying around a pocket knife, mentally preparing yourself to take a life in order to save your own, because every day you're living in fear that you won't make it home. You don't get to be a child when you can't wear your favorite color outside because a gang claimed it. And if they see you, you dead. Because the color of your clothes can get a bullet put in your head. The color of your skin can get a bullet put in your head. The block you were raised on can get a bullet put in your head. Those nice shoes you got on can get a bullet put in your head. The gender you fell in love with can get a bullet put in your head. DC ain't the same anymore. DC, Death City, DC, don't come, because my city don't shine anymore. Too many suns are gone. My city ain't fun anymore. Too many guns are drawn. We ain't on the beach collecting shells, we on the block collecting shell casings. We ain't going to art school and painting, we out there cleaning our friends' blood off the pavement. Half of my friends went off to college and the other half went in caskets. It's crazy because we were all just in high school, going high to school. Because even though my friend died yesterday, I couldn't afford to be late. I had a test that day. So I showed up, even though my mind was torn up. In the hood, we ain't trying to grow up fast. We just trying to grow up. That was my first poem about growing up in D.C. And I'm going to share another poem about one summer after I left school, I decided to go back and teach coding and be assistant camp director at one of the programs that I grew up in. It's called Kid Power, and this is about my experience there. It's called The Letter to the Phoenix. I was teaching black kids this summer, but I actually learned more than I taught, watching my students fight the same battles I fought. I saw myself in all of you. I saw the joy you're still able to hold on to despite all of the obstacles put in place to destroy you. I saw your resilience as you overcame battles that should never be placed on children. I saw your innocence in a world that labeled you a criminal before you even came into existence. I saw the pain in your eyes, even when you could look straight into mine and lie and say that you were fine, or maybe you're actually convinced that you are, because in our community, when we try to discuss what's mentally hard, our parents respond with belts, leaving us mentally and physically scarred. I saw the bruises. I heard the familiar excuses. I remember falling down those same black leather steps that our parents wore to hold up their pants, run into those 2 poles attached to my father's chest, the beat my stomach would make when there wasn't enough food on my plate, the looks the men gave when my body started to form its shape, the fear that made my heart stop every time I hit the way of the bus stop, the way my ears popped to the constant sounds of gunshots, sitting in the church wondering why my cousin was asleep in front of us, begging him to get up and give my aunt a hug so that she would stop crying so much. He never did. A couple funerals later, and I quickly learned the difference between the casket and the bed. I was teaching black kids this summer, but I actually learned more than I taught, watching my students fight the same battles I fought. It was like a flashback to my childhood experiences that developed into all these mental